Are your daily vitamins secretly weakening your legs? It might sound unbelievable, but for many seniors, it's a stark reality. Every morning, millions of older adults reach for their daily supplements, convinced they're supporting their health, boosting energy, or protecting their heart. But what if some of those seemingly innocuous pills are quietly doing more harm than good? If you've noticed your legs feeling weaker, if getting up from a chair is tougher than it used to be, or if stairs feel more intimidating lately, it may not just be aging. It could be something insidious lurking in your supplement routine. Leg strength isn't merely about staying active, it's about holding onto your independence, preventing dangerous falls, and maintaining your mobility as you gracefully navigate the later chapters of life. In this comprehensive guide, I, as a physician who has dedicated decades to understanding the nuances of geriatric health, will reveal 3 common vitamins that could be silently stealing your strength. More importantly, I will explain what you can do instead to stay strong, steady, and confident. Let's take a closer look. Number 1. The silent muscle weakener, vitamin E. Let's begin with a vitamin you probably didn't expect to find on this list. Vitamin E. For decades, it has been heralded as a miracle nutrient, a panacea for various ailments. You've undoubtedly heard that it supports heart health, acts as a potent antioxidant protecting your skin from environmental damage, and even purports to slow down the inexorable march of aging. This widespread belief explains why it's so commonly found in multivitamins, standalone supplements, and an array of anti-aging formulations. Many seniors dutifully take it daily, often without a second thought. It seems harmless, after all. It's just a vitamin, right? But here's the critical distinction, a truth often obscured by marketing hype. Not all vitamins are safe in high doses, especially when consumed over prolonged periods. Vitamin E is one of those nutrients that can quietly, insidiously cause harm when taken in excess, particularly for older adults. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin. This means, unlike its water-soluble counterparts such as vitamin C or the B vitamins, which your body readily flushes out through urine when it doesn't need them, fat-soluble vitamins are stored. They accumulate in your body's fatty tissues and, significantly, in your liver. Over time, this accumulation can lead to toxic levels, a condition known as hypervitaminosis E, especially if you're consistently taking high-dose supplements every day without realizing the cumulative effect. Now, let's delve into where the real concern for your leg strength begins. When vitamin E builds up excessively in your system, it can start interfering with crucial physiological processes within your muscles and nerves. Specifically, it can disrupt neuromuscular function. This is the intricate, finely tuned communication pathway between your nerves and your muscles. When this connection is compromised, your muscles don't receive the clear, precise signals they need to contract efficiently and powerfully. For someone already experiencing the natural, age-related decline in muscle mass, a process known as sarcopenia, this disruption can be profoundly problematic. Gradually, almost imperceptibly, you may begin to notice your legs feeling weaker or your balance becoming less reliable than it once was. The insidious nature of this problem is that it rarely manifests as a sudden, dramatic collapse of strength. Instead, the signs are subtle, easily dismissed, and often attributed to other causes. Perhaps you find it a little harder to stand up from your favorite armchair, or you might feel a touch more unsteady while navigating the aisles of the grocery store. You might, quite understandably, chalk it up to just getting older or a fleeting bout of fatigue. But what's truly happening is a silent erosion of your muscular integrity from within, and excess vitamin E could be playing a significant, detrimental role in that process. Another subtle, yet important symptom to monitor is an unusual degree of fatigue during everyday movements, particularly those involving your legs and hips. Your muscles may feel disproportionately tired more quickly than they used to, even after relatively minor exertion. This isn't just a general sense of weariness, it's a specific muscular fatigue that signals a decline in their functional capacity. Moreover, because vitamin E in high doses can also exert an anticoagulant effect, thinning the blood, individuals who are already on blood-thinning medications, such as warfarin, aspirin, or novel oral anticoagulants, are at an even higher risk. This synergistic effect significantly increases the chance of bruising, internal bleeding, and potentially serious complications should you experience a fall. Even something as seemingly innocuous as tripping over a rug or missing a step could lead to a far more severe outcome than it would for someone not experiencing this drug supplement interaction. What makes this situation even more concerning, from a clinical perspective, is that it's frequently misdiagnosed or entirely overlooked. Most people, and indeed many healthcare providers, tend to assume that issues like feeling wobbly, slow, or easily tired are simply an unavoidable part of the aging process. They are considered normal, age-related changes. But in reality, these symptoms might be directly linked to something as small and seemingly benign as a daily supplement that, due to its dosage or your changing physiology, is no longer appropriate for your age or current health status. My patient's story, the case of Mrs. Eleanor Vance. I recall a patient, Mrs. Eleanor Vance, a vibrant woman in her late 70s who had always been fiercely independent. She loved gardening, walking her dog, and was an active member of her community book club. Over a period of about 18 months, she started complaining of increasing leg weakness. "Doctor," she'd say, "my legs just feel like lead. I used to be able to walk around the block twice, now I struggle to get to the mailbox. And getting up from my armchair, it's like I'm stuck in quicksand." Initially, we explored the usual suspects: osteoarthritis, mild neuropathy, even a touch of deconditioning. We adjusted her exercise routine, recommended physical therapy, and even checked for nutritional deficiencies. But nothing seemed to fully explain the profound, progressive weakness. She was otherwise healthy, her heart strong, her blood pressure well controlled. One day, during a routine medication review, I asked her to bring in all her supplements. She arrived with a large grocery bag, a testament to her dedication to staying healthy. As I meticulously went through each bottle, I noticed a high-dose vitamin E supplement she had been taking for heart health for over a decade, along with a multivitamin that also contained a significant amount of vitamin E. When I calculated the cumulative daily intake, it was staggering, well over 800 IU, far exceeding the recommended upper limit of 150 milligrams, approximately 225 IU, for long-term use. "Mrs. Vance," I explained, "I believe we found a significant piece of the puzzle. While vitamin E is essential, in these high doses, especially over many years, it can interfere with your muscle and nerve function, leading to the very weakness you're experiencing." She was skeptical at first. "But doctor, it's just a vitamin. And it's supposed to be good for my heart." I patiently explained the fat-soluble nature of vitamin E, its accumulation in the body, and its potential to disrupt neuromuscular signaling. We decided to gradually taper her off the high-dose supplement and rely solely on dietary sources. Within 3 months, Mrs. Vance was back in my office, beaming. "Doctor, it's like a miracle. My legs feel lighter, I can get up from my chair without struggling, and I even walked around the block with my dog yesterday. I truly thought I was just getting old." Mrs. Vance's story is not unique. It underscores the critical importance of a thorough review of all supplements, even those perceived as benign, and the potential for seemingly healthy habits to become detrimental when taken to an extreme. So, what can you do instead? The good news is that vitamin E is still an important nutrient, vital for antioxidant protection and cellular health. However, you absolutely do not need it in such high, isolated doses, and you certainly don't need to obtain it from a pill in excessive quantities. Nature, in its infinite wisdom, already provides us with an abundance of vitamin E-rich foods that your body can absorb and utilize far more safely and effectively. Great dietary options include sunflower seeds, a powerhouse of vitamin E. Just a quarter cup provides a significant portion of your daily needs. Almonds, another excellent source, perfect for snacking or adding to meals. Spinach, this leafy green vegetable, along with other dark greens, offers a healthy dose of vitamin E alongside other crucial nutrients. Avocados, a delicious and versatile fruit rich in healthy fats and vitamin E. Wheat germ oil, one of the richest dietary sources of vitamin E. Broccoli and asparagus provide smaller but still beneficial amounts. These natural, whole food sources deliver vitamin E in a balanced matrix with other nutrients, allowing your body to absorb just what it needs without the risk of overload. Also, and this is a crucial piece of medical advice, it's a smart and responsible move to have an open and frank discussion with your doctor, especially if you've been taking high-dose vitamin E supplements for years. Ask if it's still necessary. Bring in all your supplements, every bottle, every pill, and review them together. You would be genuinely surprised how many people are taking dosages far above what's clinically recommended, simply because the bottle proclaimed heart healthy or immune support without considering the cumulative effect. One more critical point to keep in mind: if you are taking multiple supplements, be absolutely meticulous about adding up all sources of vitamin E. It might be subtly hiding in your daily multivitamin, in your skin health formula, and even in your daily brain booster. The cumulative total from these disparate sources could be pushing you well over safe levels without you ever realizing it, silently contributing to your leg weakness and balance issues. To sum it up, vitamin E is not the enemy. It's a vital nutrient, but too much of it, particularly from high-dose isolated supplements, can quietly and progressively erode your muscle strength, especially in your legs. This can profoundly impact your balance, mobility, and, ultimately, your independence, precious attributes we all strive to protect as we age. So, instead of indiscriminately loading up on high-dose pills, consider making the switch to whole foods as your primary source and engaging in a detailed discussion about your supplement plan with your trusted healthcare provider. Your legs, and your future self, will undoubtedly thank you. Number 2. The bone and muscle drainer, vitamin A. Let's transition to another vitamin that many seniors implicitly trust to support their overall health. Vitamin A. For generations, it has been lauded for its profound benefits to vision, its role in maintaining healthy skin, and its crucial contribution to immune function. It's a ubiquitous staple in countless multivitamins, fortified foods like cereals and milk, and even traditional remedies such as cod liver oil. Sounds inherently healthy, doesn't it? But here's the unvarnished truth, a reality that often gets lost in the simplistic narrative of more is better. Just like vitamin E, vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin. This means it does not readily exit your body. Instead, it accumulates quietly and gradually in your liver and fatty tissues until it can begin to inflict damage, often without any immediate, overt warning signs. The human body is an astonishingly resilient and adaptable biological machine. However, as we age, its metabolic processes undergo subtle yet significant changes. Our liver's capacity to process and detoxify substances can slow down, our muscles recover more sluggishly, and our bones naturally experience a gradual thinning process, becoming less dense and more fragile. These age-related physiological shifts mean we have less margin for error when it comes to supplement dosages. And too much vitamin A, particularly in its preformed retinol state, can decisively tip the balance in the wrong, detrimental direction. One of the most significant and alarming concerns with excess vitamin A is its deleterious effect on your bones, particularly in the hips and legs, precisely the bones that form the scaffolding for our ability to walk, maintain balance, and sustain our independence. Numerous scientific studies and clinical observations have unequivocally demonstrated that chronically high levels of vitamin A are linked to accelerated bone loss and an increased risk of fractures. For older adults, even a seemingly small drop in bone mineral density can have catastrophic consequences. A simple misstep, a stumble on a rug, or a minor slip in the kitchen can transform into a hip fracture or a vertebral compression fracture that irrevocably alters your life, often leading to a cascade of complications and a significant loss of independence. But the danger posed by excessive vitamin A doesn't stop with your skeletal system. Your muscle strength can also be significantly compromised. Many seniors experiencing chronic vitamin A toxicity report a growing sensation of heaviness, persistent aches, or a deep, nagging discomfort in their hips or thighs, especially after periods of walking or standing. These symptoms are incredibly easy to brush off. We tell ourselves, well, I'm just getting older, or I probably overdid it yesterday. But what if it's not simply aging? What if it's the very supplement you're diligently taking every morning, convinced it's enhancing your health? One of the particularly tricky aspects of vitamin A toxicity is its multifactorial origin. Vitamin A comes from many diverse sources, and these sources can stack up rapidly and unexpectedly. Cod liver oil, a traditional supplement often taken for its omega-3 fatty acids, is naturally and exceptionally high in preformed vitamin A, retinol. Add to that a daily multivitamin that contains vitamin A fortified breakfast cereal, and perhaps some liver, a very rich source of vitamin A, in your diet, and you could very easily exceed the recommended daily amount without any conscious awareness. Because vitamin A accumulates in your body, this can lead to chronic toxicity, especially if you've been taking it daily for months or even years. Here are some specific warning signs to watch for, which could indicate an insidious vitamin A overload. Persistent aches in your hips or upper legs that don't seem to dissipate with rest or mild pain relievers. unusual fatigue after walking, even short distances, a feeling that your legs are simply giving out or are disproportionately tired. A growing reluctance to take the stairs or engage in walks, not out of fear or laziness, but because your legs just don't feel the way they used to. They feel heavy, weak, or uncooperative. Dry, rough skin or hair loss, though these are less specific to leg weakness, they are general signs of hypervitaminosis A. Headaches or blurred vision, which can also occur with acute or chronic toxicity. These aren't just inevitable signs of aging. They could be your body's quiet, yet urgent, way of signaling that something is profoundly off, and that a daily supplement might be the underlying culprit. My patient's story, the case of Mr. Thomas Sterling. I remember Mr. Thomas Sterling, a retired engineer, a man of meticulous habits. He had been taking a daily multivitamin, a separate vitamin A supplement for his vision, and a tablespoon of cod liver oil every morning for overall wellness for nearly 2 decades. He was 82 when he came to me complaining of severe hip pain and a feeling of bone weariness in his legs. He had also experienced 2 falls in the past 6 months, one resulting in a minor wrist fracture. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like my bones are turning to dust. I'm doing everything right, taking my vitamins, eating well. Why am I feeling so fragile?" His bone density scans showed significant osteoporosis, more advanced than what we'd typically expect for his age, even accounting for his gender. His blood work was largely unremarkable, except for one thing. His vitamin A levels were alarmingly high, nearly 3 times the upper limit of normal. "Mr. Sterling," I explained, "your dedication to health is admirable, but in this case, it seems you've been getting far too much vitamin A. While it's crucial for vision and bone health in the right amounts, excessive intake, especially from supplements in cod liver oil, can actually accelerate bone loss and contribute to the very fragility you're experiencing." He was stunned, but the bottle said it was good for my eyes. And my mother always swore by cod liver oil for strong bones. I clarified the difference between dietary vitamin A, beta-carotene, and preformed vitamin A, retinol, and how the latter, in high doses, can disrupt bone remodeling processes, leading to increased bone resorption. We immediately discontinued his vitamin A supplement and cod liver oil, and adjusted his multivitamin to one without preformed vitamin A. We also initiated a comprehensive bone health regimen. Within 6 months, his bone pain had significantly diminished, and he reported feeling much stronger in his legs. While we couldn't reverse all the bone loss, we halted its progression, and more importantly, we removed a major contributing factor to his falls and discomfort. Mr. Sterling's case was a powerful reminder that even the most well-intentioned health practices can have unintended consequences if not carefully monitored and understood. So what's the solution? First and foremost, it's vital to understand that vitamin A is still an essential nutrient, absolutely crucial for numerous bodily functions. However, the key lies in the type and the amount. The safer form for most people, especially seniors, is beta-carotene. This is the plant-based precursor to vitamin A, found abundantly in colorful vegetables and fruits like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, kale, and apricots. Unlike retinol, the active, preformed form of vitamin A found in supplements and animal products, like liver, dairy, and eggs, beta-carotene does not build up to toxic levels in your body. Your body intelligently converts beta-carotene into vitamin A only when and if it needs it, offering a built-in safety mechanism that prevents overload. If you are currently taking a vitamin A supplement, especially if it's retinol-based or derived from cod liver oil, you must reevaluate its necessity and dosage. Are you also obtaining significant amounts of vitamin A from other supplements or fortified foods? It's remarkably easy to inadvertently double or triple up on your intake without noticing, and that's precisely where the risk of toxicity lies. One seemingly small change in your supplement regimen could make a profound difference in your energy levels, your leg strength, and your crucial bone health. Furthermore, consider proactively asking your doctor for a vitamin A blood test, particularly if you've been supplementing for a long time or are experiencing any of the aforementioned symptoms. Most routine lab panels do not automatically include vitamin levels unless specifically requested. A comprehensive nutrient panel can reveal if your vitamin A levels are indeed creeping into the danger zone, allowing for timely intervention and adjustment. The fundamental takeaway here is simple yet profoundly important. More is not always better, especially when it comes to fat-soluble vitamins like A. What once seemed like a smart, proactive health habit could now be subtly undermining the very things you are striving to protect: your bones, your muscles, and your fundamental ability to move through life freely and independently. Instead of relying on high-dose, isolated supplements, lean into whole foods. Let your primary source of nutrition come from your plate, not your pill bottle. It's not only a safer approach, it's also how your body was exquisitely designed to thrive. Number 3. The nerve damager, vitamin B6. Now, let's turn our attention to a vitamin that is frequently marketed as an energy booster, a cognitive enhancer, and a general brain helper: vitamin B6, pyridoxine. You'll encounter it in a wide array of products specifically aimed at seniors: comprehensive multivitamins, specialized energy blends, memory support pills, and even supplements designed to enhance mood. It's often perceived as harmless, primarily because, unlike vitamins A and E, vitamin B6 is water-soluble. And conventionally, we are taught that water-soluble vitamins are inherently safe because the body simply excretes what it doesn't need through urine. But here's the surprising and deeply concerning truth: vitamin B6 can still accumulate to toxic levels, especially if you are taking more than one supplement that contains it, or if you are taking a very high-dose standalone supplement. And when it does accumulate excessively, it doesn't just cause mild, transient side effects. It can inflict real, lasting, and often irreversible damage to your peripheral nerves, particularly those vital nerves in your legs and feet. One of the most dangerous and debilitating outcomes of chronic, excessive B6 intake is a condition known as peripheral neuropathy. This condition affects the peripheral nerves, the intricate network of nerves that transmit signals between your central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, and the rest of your body, including your limbs. These nerves are responsible for controlling sensation, touch, temperature, pain, movement, muscle contraction, and even autonomic functions like digestion and heart rate. The onset of B6-induced peripheral neuropathy is often insidious and subtle. It might begin with a faint tingling sensation in your toes, or a slight, intermittent numbness that comes and goes. At first, you might dismiss it as pins and needles from sitting too long, or attribute it to poor circulation. But over time, that tingling can spread, extending up your feet and into your legs. You may begin to feel like your legs are asleep more often, or that your feet don't quite connect with the ground in the stable, confident way they used to. Some individuals describe it as a dead leg feeling, a disquieting sensation that your legs are not fully yours anymore, or that they are encased in a heavy, unresponsive material. Others notice a subtle but definite change in their gait. They might be tripping over nothing, or their walk becomes a little more unsteady, a bit more shuffling. Stairs, once navigated effortlessly, become increasingly intimidating, and a pervasive fear of falling can begin to take root, eroding your confidence and limiting your activities. This type of nerve damage doesn't just impact your physical body. It profoundly chips away at your confidence, your sense of control over your own movements, and your cherished independence. It is truly heartbreaking because many people experiencing these symptoms assume it's an inevitable part of getting older, or, even worse, they fear they might be developing a more serious, progressive neurological condition like multiple sclerosis or diabetic neuropathy. But in a significant number of cases, the true culprit may be quietly sitting in their bathroom cabinet, a B6 supplement they'd been taking diligently for years, believing it was helping them. So, how much is too much? The established upper limit for vitamin B6, set by health authorities, is generally 100 mg mg per day for adults. However, a concerning number of over-the-counter supplements, particularly those marketed for energy or nerve support, contain dosages that either approach or significantly exceed this limit, especially if you are taking multiple products. For example, a standard daily multivitamin might contain 20 to 40 milligrams of B6. An energy booster supplement could add another 50 milligrams. And a memory support supplement might contribute an additional 30 milligrams. Before you realize it, you're well over the safe threshold, consuming 100 milligrams, 120 milligrams, or even more, every single day. And here's the truly insidious and tragic part. The nerve damage caused by B6 toxicity doesn't always go away, even after you stop taking the offending supplement. Some individuals experience long-term or even permanent nerve damage, resulting in chronic numbness, persistent poor coordination, or irreversible leg weakness. This is a steep, devastating price to pay for something that was supposed to give you more energy or mental clarity. My patient's story, the case of Mr. Arthur Jenkins. Mr. Arthur Jenkins, a retired accountant, came to me with complaints of persistent tingling and numbness in his feet and lower legs. He described it as walking on cotton wool and said he frequently tripped over his own feet, even on flat surfaces. He was 75, and his symptoms had been progressing over about 2 years. We ran a battery of tests, nerve conduction studies, electromyography, blood tests for diabetes, thyroid issues, and other common causes of neuropathy. Everything came back normal, which was both a relief and a frustration for Mr. Jenkins. "So, I'm just making this up, doctor? Or is it just old age?" he asked, clearly disheartened. I then asked him about his supplements. He pulled out a small bag. "Just my multivitamin, and this Energy and Focuses supplement my son gave me. Says it's good for brain health." I looked at the labels. His multivitamin contained 25 milligrams of B6. The Energy and Focused supplement, however, contained a whopping 75 milligrams of B6 per serving. "Mr. Jenkins," I said, "do you take one of each every day?" "Yes, religiously," he replied. "That means you're taking 100 milligrams of vitamin B6 every single day," I explained. While that's technically at the upper limit, for some individuals, especially over prolonged periods, it can be too much and lead to nerve damage. "Your symptoms are classic for B6 toxicity." He was incredulous. "But it's a B vitamin. I thought those were harmless." I explained the mechanism, how excess B6 can interfere with the synthesis of myelin, the protective sheath around nerves, and disrupt nerve signaling. We immediately stopped the Energy and Focused supplement and switched his multivitamin to one with a much lower B6 content, or ideally, none at all for a while. The good news for Mr. Jenkins was that, because we caught it relatively early, his symptoms gradually improved. It took several months, but the tingling lessened and the numbness receded. He was able to regain much of his balance and confidence. However, he still has occasional residual numbness, a stark reminder of the long-term impact of what seemed like a harmless daily habit. His case highlighted for me the critical need for vigilance regarding all supplements, even those widely perceived as safe. So what can you do to stay safe? First and foremost, check every single supplement you take. Look at every label, not just your multivitamin, but also any product marketed for memory, energy, mood, or even hair, skin, and nails. You might be genuinely shocked at how much B6 is hiding in your daily routine. Second, remember that the best and safest source of vitamin B6 is real, whole food. Your body is exquisitely designed to process and utilize nutrients from natural sources far more effectively and safely than from isolated, high-dose pills. Foods rich in B6 include bananas, a convenient and delicious source; avocados, another versatile fruit packed with nutrients; potatoes, with skin, a good source of B6 and other minerals; turkey and chicken, lean protein sources with good B6 content; chickpeas, garbanzo beans, excellent for vegetarians and vegans; salmon, a fatty fish rich in B6 and omega-3s; spinach, another leafy green that contributes to B6 intake. These foods provide just the right amount of B6, enough to support your nervous system without putting it at risk of toxicity. Third, if you are experiencing any kind of numbness, tingling, burning, or strange sensations in your legs or feet, talk to your doctor immediately and specifically ask for a blood test to check your B6 levels. Most people never think to ask for this, and unfortunately, most routine blood work panels do not include vitamin levels unless explicitly requested. But catching a B6 overload early can make a profound difference in reversing symptoms and protecting your long-term mobility and nerve health. Lastly, and this is a principle that applies across all supplementation, do not assume that more is better. It's incredibly easy to fall into that trap, especially when supplements are aggressively marketed with alluring promises like energize your mind, support mental clarity, or boost your mood. But when it comes to vitamin B6, more can quietly and irrevocably rob you of your strength, your balance, and your fundamental sense of security and control in your own body. Let's not forget the profound importance of our legs. They aren't just for walking, they are the very foundation of our independence. They carry us through life, allow us to shop, cook, travel, visit loved ones, and live with dignity and autonomy. The very last thing we want is for something we took with the best intentions to help us to be the very thing that slowly, silently takes that away. So, take a moment to reevaluate. Look critically at what you're taking daily. Ask yourself if it's truly necessary, and, most importantly, have a candid conversation with your healthcare provider about your entire supplement routine. Knowledge is power, and the more we understand about what goes into our bodies, the better we can protect the strength, movement, and freedom that keep us going. The bigger picture, your leg strength matters. As we gracefully navigate the later stages of life, it's remarkably easy to attribute every new ache, every stumble, and every bit of fatigue to the simple, undeniable fact of just getting older. It's the narrative we're often told, what we've come to expect, and what we frequently, perhaps too readily, accept. But what if that story isn't entirely accurate? What if the muscle weakness, the persistent leg fatigue, or the unsettling balance issues you're experiencing aren't solely the relentless march of age, but rather the silent, insidious side effects of the very supplements you've trusted to keep you healthy? The profound truth, often overlooked, is that gradual muscle and nerve decline doesn't always originate from aging alone. Sometimes, it is directly caused or significantly worsened by the chronic, excessive use of certain vitamins, particularly vitamin E, vitamin A, in its preformed retinol form, and vitamin B6. These nutrients are undeniably important, even essential, but only in the right, balanced amounts. When taken in excess, especially consistently over months or years, they can quietly and systematically sabotage the inherent strength in your legs, compromise the delicate coordination in your steps, and erode the vital confidence in your balance. This means that what you have come to believe is a normal, unavoidable part of aging may, in fact, be preventable damage. Damage caused not by the passage of time, but by a deeply ingrained, yet potentially harmful, habit. A well-intentioned daily pill, consumed with the best of motives, might be slowly wearing down your muscles or dulling the critical nerves in your legs without any immediate warning. But here's the empowering news, the beacon of hope. When we recognize these subtle signs early, when we understand the potential culprits, we can decisively take back control. Reviewing your entire supplement regimen, asking the right, probing questions, and making small, informed adjustments can profoundly protect your strength and independence for many more vibrant years to come. Your legs carry your freedom. Do not, under any circumstances, let unnecessary supplements inadvertently take that freedom away from you. Aging may be an inevitable biological process, but how you age, the quality of your later years, and your ability to remain mobile and independent is, to a significant degree, still within your control. What you should do now that you possess this crucial knowledge about the hidden dangers behind certain vitamins, you may be wondering, what should I do next? The good news is that you don't need to panic, nor do you need to indiscriminately discard every bottle in your medicine cabinet. However, you absolutely do need to take a few intentional, proactive steps to safeguard your health, preserve your leg strength, and protect your precious independence. Step 1. Meticulously review every supplement you take. Go through every single vitamin, multivitamin, herbal remedy, or health supplement you take, whether daily or occasionally. Pick up each bottle, turn it over, and scrutinize the label. Ask yourself, what exactly is in this? Do I truly need it? Is this still appropriate for my current health status and age? Be particularly vigilant and on the lookout for vitamin E, often listed as tocopherols, vitamin A, especially if listed as retinol, retinol palmitate, or retinol acetate, rather than beta-carotene, and vitamin B6, pyridoxine or pyridoxal 5-phosphate. You may be genuinely surprised at how many different products include these vitamins, and sometimes in alarmingly high doses. Step 2. Carefully check the total dosage. Many seniors unknowingly consume more than the recommended daily amounts of these vitamins, not because of taking a single, excessively dosed pill, but because of the cumulative effect of several different supplements that add up. For instance, a daily multivitamin, an energy supplement, and a fortified breakfast cereal could all contribute to dangerously excess levels of these vitamins. You must know what you are consuming in total across all sources. Don't just look at one bottle. Sum up the intake from all sources. Step 3. Consult with the right doctor. It's a common misconception that all doctors are equally knowledgeable about senior health and nutrition. This is simply not true. If possible, seek out a healthcare provider who specializes in the unique needs of older adults, such as a geriatrician or a physician with expertise in functional medicine or clinical nutrition. When you schedule your appointment, bring your complete list of all supplements you are currently taking. Be open and honest about any leg weakness, balance issues, tingling sensations, or unexplained fatigue you've experienced. This detailed information is vital for an accurate assessment. Step 4. Request a comprehensive nutrient panel. During your consultation, specifically request blood work that includes levels for vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin B6. These specific vitamin levels are not always included in routine blood tests, so you must be explicit in your request. A nutrient panel can provide objective data, revealing if your body is indeed storing too much of these vitamins. Based on these results, your doctor can then provide precise, personalized guidance on how to safely adjust your supplement intake. Step 5. Prioritize food first. Whenever and wherever possible, strive to obtain your essential nutrients from real, whole foods. Your body is inherently better equipped to absorb, process, and utilize vitamins and minerals when they come from natural, food-based sources like fresh fruits, vibrant vegetables, lean meats, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. These foods are inherently balanced by nature, containing a complex array of cofactors and synergistic compounds that facilitate optimal absorption and utilization, making them far safer and more effective than isolated, high-dose supplements. Remember, supplements are meant to supplement a healthy diet, not replace it. Remember, this isn't about instilling fear, it's about empowerment. Your strength, your mobility, and your ability to live life on your own terms truly matter. With a few mindful changes, a little proactive investigation, and a collaborative approach with your healthcare team, you can profoundly protect your body, remain active, and live independently for many more fulfilling years to come. Another hidden danger: inactivity. Even if you've meticulously balanced your vitamin intake and optimized your supplement routine, there remains another pervasive, silent threat that can insidiously weaken your legs. And it's something most of us engage in without even a second thought: prolonged sitting. In today's largely sedentary world, prolonged sitting has become the norm. Whether it's hours spent reading a captivating book, binge watching your favorite television series, working on a computer, or simply resting between errands, extended periods of inactivity are ubiquitous. And while taking it easy may feel like the safest, most comfortable option, especially as we age, chronic inactivity comes with its own set of serious, detrimental consequences for your leg strength and overall health. When we sit for long periods, our leg muscles, particularly the large muscle groups in the thighs and glutes, begin to atrophy from disuse. This process, known as muscle disuse atrophy, leads to a significant reduction in muscle mass, strength, and endurance. When those crucial muscles weaken, your balance inevitably suffers, making everyday movements that were once effortless, like standing up from a chair, climbing a flight of stairs, or even just walking across a room, increasingly difficult, precarious, and even dangerous. Simultaneously, prolonged inactivity contributes significantly to bone loss, particularly in the weight-bearing bones of the hips and legs. This exacerbates the risk of osteoporosis and increases your susceptibility to fractures from even minor falls. The very act of bearing weight and moving stimulates bone remodeling and helps maintain bone density. Without this stimulus, bones become weaker and more brittle. The good news is that you don't need an expensive gym membership or to engage in intense, grueling workouts to counteract these effects. What matters most is consistency and movement. Even small, regular bursts of activity can make a profound difference. A short, brisk walk around the house, gentle chair exercises, such as leg lifts or marching in place, or a few minutes of targeted leg stretches can effectively preserve your existing muscle strength, improve vital circulation, and protect your bones. Even simply standing up and moving around for a minute or two every hour can make a remarkable difference in combating the negative effects of prolonged sitting. Think of movement as medicine. Just as you are now cautious and intentional with your supplements, be equally intentional about how often and how vigorously you use your legs. Your body is inherently designed to move, and it thrives when you provide it with regular, purposeful activity. So, if you are diligently taking steps to protect your health through optimized nutrition, do not neglect the equally vital component of physical activity. It is one of the simplest, most accessible, and profoundly effective ways to stay strong, steady, and independent as you age. Every single step counts, literally. A message from your doctor. Let me speak to you not just as a medical professional, but as someone who has witnessed the profound impact of these often overlooked factors on countless lives. I've dedicated my career to understanding the intricacies of human health, particularly as we age. I've seen decades of medical advancements, watched the world evolve, and learned a fundamental truth. Aging itself isn't the enemy. It's the assumptions we make about it, the passive acceptance of decline, and the well-intentioned but sometimes misguided habits that truly hold us back. I have sat across from patients, friends, and even members of my own extended family, watching them slowly lose their strength, their balance, and eventually, their cherished independence. Not because of some terrible, catastrophic illness, but because of a gradual, insidious erosion caused by habits they genuinely believed were helping them. They took the same vitamins every day, trusting the label, never knowing that the very pills they believed were protecting them were, over time, quietly making their legs weaker and their steps less sure. This is why I am urging you now, with every fiber of my professional conviction, be mindful. Be alert, be wise. You have lived long, and you have earned the right to live strong. Listen intently to your body. Do not dismiss or ignore the small changes, the subtle hesitations, the growing weariness in your legs, the fleeting moments of unsteadiness. These seemingly minor things matter immensely. They are whispers from your body, trying desperately to tell you something before it is forced to shout through a fall or a significant loss of mobility. You have earned the right to move with confidence, to walk into each new day on your own 2 feet, steady and proud. Do not allow outdated habits, a lack of awareness, or silent mistakes to rob you of that fundamental right. You still possess immense power. You still have invaluable time. So, take control, ask the difficult questions, reassess what you've been told, and always remember, the ultimate goal isn't merely to live longer. It is to live better, with freedom, with purpose, and with unwavering strength. Your leg strength is not just about physical capacity, it is the very embodiment of your independence. It is what keeps you moving, steady, and self-reliant. And now, armed with this vital knowledge, you possess the power to actively protect it. Use this information to take a closer, more critical look at your daily routine. It is genuinely never too late to make a change that profoundly supports your health and secures your future. Small, consistent steps, like meticulously reviewing your supplements or consciously integrating more movement into each day, can help you reclaim your confidence, restore your balance, and preserve your precious mobility. Now, I'd genuinely love to hear from you. Which vitamin are you going to check first today? Share one thing you've learned from this discussion in the comments below. And if you found this information helpful and empowering, please consider subscribing for more evidence-based health tips designed specifically for seniors. Because living longer should absolutely mean living stronger.